The word for you today, the cure for anxiety, part 4. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Isaiah chapter 25, verse 4 says, "You have been a refuge for the poor, a refuge for the needy in his distress, a shelter from the storm and a shade from the heat. For the breath of the ruthless is like a storm driving against a wall." It's Isaiah talking to God. You have been a refuge for the poor. When we become anxious, our focus becomes really important. We can focus on what caused us to be anxious, or we can focus on the cure for the anxiety. Let's see how this verse can help us. First it says, you talking to God, God, you have been a refuge for the poor and needy. Refuge is a condition of being safe or sheltered from pursuit or danger. When the uncertainties of this world cause us anxiety, we need to turn to the one who knows the future, the one who can be a refuge, the person we can go to and know that we're going to be safe, and that is God. Remember when Jesus was in the boat with the disciples and he took a nap and the storm came up and the disciples woke him up and said, "Jesus, do you not care that we're about to drown?" What did Jesus do? Well, he says, "Oh, ye of little faith." And then he said, "Be still." And the waves and the wind, everything calmed down. And the disciples looked at him and said, "Who is this man that has such power?" Anytime they got in a boat after that, do you think they knew they were okay? Because Jesus had that power. Well, I want to tell you what, Jesus has power to calm any storm that you are in. God, you have been a refuge for the poor and needy. Remember, God can handle, he's our refuge. Second, a shelter from the storm. Shelter is something that covers or affords protection. Remember when Jesus said, "Take heart, I've overcome the world"? He's our shelter. We've had some hailstorms lately, and you can tell which cars were outside and which cars were under some type of a shelter, because the cars that didn't have any shelter kind of look like golf balls. They've got all these dents on them. And we look at that and we go, "Oh man, that's too bad." But you know what? When it's us and we're not sheltered and we get beat up and beat up and beat up, it's hard. It's hard and it hurts. Jesus is our shelter. He's our shelter. And it says, "in a shade from the heat." Shade protects from the sun. God protects us from the enemy. I wonder how many times God has protected us and we didn't even know. We didn't even know that he was protecting us. But there's a lot of times, we'd be amazed at the number of times God's protection was there and we didn't even see it. And then the last thing he says, "For the breath of the ruthless is like a storm driving against a wall." You know, when an enemy comes against us, it's like a storm banging against a wall, trying to get in, trying to knock it down. Well, the breath, it says the breath of the ruthless, that enemy, even the breath of the enemy is like a banging against a wall. If the wall's not strong, it'll fall. And Jesus is that strong wall that will protect us. There was scholar Ken Bailey wrote about sheep and the shepherd. And he made an interesting observation. He said, sheep have a special problem. They have no defenses. Cats have teeth, claws, and speed. Dogs have their teeth and their speed. Horses can kick, bite, and run. Bears can claw, bite, and crush. Deer can run. But the sheep have no bite or claws and cannot outrun any serious predator. The sheep's only security is the shepherd. The sheep's only security is in the shepherd. The cure for our anxiety is in our shepherd. That's where our security comes from. That's where our peace comes from. It's in our shepherd. The shepherd is Jesus. Are you anxious about something? You and I don't have the power to bite it, claw it, outrun it. We don't have power over that. But we have a shepherd who will take it from us. Are you anxious? Go to your shepherd, Jesus. Have a good day.